Hello, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Vermont Scale Customs, another installment of driving trucks on rocks indoors. So, this is actually from last evening. It's currently Monday, November 6th, so this is from last night, November 5th. I know that I'd said that I had some footage from last week, but because of the whole white balance issue, or just the darkening thing, if you remember from the Alvin 24 video, the previous video, I decided to spare you guys that. So I have discovered that I can film in 2.7K at 60 frames per second and get a considerably wider field of view, and also have a little bit better time with not only exposure but just what I was experiencing with the whole color automatically adjusting and stuff like that, which really was more a problem of filming in 240 frames per second versus filming with fluorescent light tubes up above. So pretty low budget production here. So yeah, I put all my money in trucks, I think, or something. Maybe I just don't have any money to put into this channel. So on that note, I did officially, you guys are probably just going to unsubscribe, but I did just officially monetize. I haven't done anything like set up the ads or anything along those lines. I'm not really exactly sure where I'm going to take it. I just monetized. So I realize you don't just like start earning money simply through doing that. You have to do other things. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to take it. I just decided that I'm going to take it someplace other than where it is right now. So I don't know exactly what to do. I kind of feel like since I've moved to Illinois, obviously the channel format has really changed a lot. I'm not able to produce the scenery and the quality of scenery in the videos that I was making, for the last 3 years. I'm kind of in a situation now where this is pretty much about as good as it's going to get, and for the last couple months, that's a pretty good representation of how the summers will be. I can kind of branch out a little bit, but for the most part, this is kind of the extent of it for now. So, having monetized, it kind of makes it tough to find out exactly where to take this channel and what exactly to do with it. So, for now, for the winter time, you're probably going to be looking at a lot of trucks just like this, I think. Leave some comments. Let me know what you'd like to see. If you have any suggestions or thoughts that you think would be good for you guys to engage with you a little bit more, and help me help you, I guess, or what have you. I'm also, I've kind of almost felt a little inspired about maybe doing some giveaways. I have a lot of trucks, 30, maybe 31 now to be exact. Only 4 of which are like Basher, like E-types, the rest are like crawlers, and a ton of various scales. So the thought has kind of crossed my mind. I'm not making any guarantees because I'm very attached to each one of the trucks I have, but of course with that attachment also comes maybe that responsibility to the community of saying, here is this thing, maybe let you guys enter to win a couple of those. I have not totally made that decision yet, but maybe leave a comment about that, how you feel about some of those. Kind of thinking maybe somewhere in the WPL range of some of the cars, maybe a couple of the customs that I've done, some of the various random bodies on, like the 118 stuff that just wasn't supposed to ever really exist but does now. I don't know, we'll see. I'm just rambling as I'm doing this to kind of keep you guys entertained. But anyway, thanks for being here. Let me know how you feel about this angle of view, whether or not you're into this kind of low angle stuff on the indoor course. I think it's kind of interesting to watch, especially at really wide angle shots like this. It kind of takes it all in. But this is the old course, because I kind of realized that it was kind of closed off in a bunch of ways, and there wasn't a whole lot of variation that I could do with it, and it had maybe like 3 or 4 really good lines. So shortly after this, I tear it down, and the next few clips after this are actually on a very quickly rebuilt course, but nevertheless a rebuilt course, which I did in probably like 20-30 minutes last night. So kind of the cool part about having all this stuff and a big 4-foot by 8-foot piece of plywood is that, within a half an hour or so, I can really do a big redesign, come up with some different ways to challenge this thing. Which I will be totally honest with you, it takes a fair amount to challenge this truck from what I can see so far. Even when it doesn't head up the exact line you intend it to, it will find a line, and it's just a matter of, are you capable of controlling it where it wants to go? So except for when it does stuff like this. It will roll pretty easily. So I gotta find a way to keep that back end down a little bit more without affecting how well it's gonna climb. I think I might need a little bit of weight somewhere in the midsection to kind of bring it back down a little bit more. But this is on the new setup here. As you can see, it's kind of changed. I got a nice climb on the left, which I do end up making with this here shortly. It's got a bunch of like just blunt-ended gaps like right on the front of this. Make it difficult to come into and off of the whole climb up and over stuff. And say what you will about the popsicle stick bridge. That was like something I made like 3 or 4 years ago. Three-wheeling up over the top. I kind of like the new course, if you can't tell. I'm pretty excited about it. It's steep right there. It doesn't look like it. Wide angle makes everything look shallow. But there's a little bit of incline here. Now, before anyone mentions anything about how noisy this thing is, this is all metal gear, metal pinion, so on and so forth. The mesh is definitely adjusted properly. In fact, there's kind of a little bit of slop in it. It's just the way this truck sounds with this body on here and everything. It's been loud since day one, and it's actually less loud than what it was with the overdrive transmission. That was horrendous. And also just really not that fun to drive with this truck. I liked it with the buggy, but with this truck it just didn't seem to work. So I ended up going to a single speed normal transmission in this thing. So very happy I did. Now this line is going to seem incredibly boring because it gets screwed up about 3 times, but all 3 times I was 100% convinced that if I just kept trying just a little bit more, it was going to pop that left rear up and out of the hole that it's in, just because it's holding on to a rock that's on the right front up there. There's like, you'll watch, just watch and watch. That's all I got to say. Very lucky there. I one-wheeled it for a second. But see how it's still pulled in right there and it wants to just stay in? I just had every bit of confidence that there was somehow, some way that this was totally possible. So I decided to creep on over and cut a leg up. I mean, tell me this thing just doesn't climb like a beast. Now this isn't perfect, of course, but I made it to that point. Now this is basically the same line again, but I just go a little bit further over and I kind of grind the axle up just so I can get... I wanted to see if it would do this steeper section of this, and it did it better than it did the other section. If you made it this far into the video and you're watching this, thanks for sticking around. This was kind of a proof... like a proving ground run for me. I'm just absolutely blown away by the performance of this truck. I've got quite a few rigs, and this one really is, like, it's my favorite, I think, out of everything that I have. I mean, I love all of my rigs. The Albin 24s would probably be right up there, and you know how I feel about Defenders and everything else, and my TF2 and all that good stuff, but this is a fun little truck.